braised mushroom and chicken pasta. First, I'm gonna boil the water, adding about a teaspoon of salt. Since we're gonna use this pasta water for our sauce later, oversalting it now will oversalt it later. While that's coming to a boil, let's prepare our vegetables by destemming our mushrooms and halving them. I'm using shiitake mushrooms, but you can use any type of mushroom as long as it has a larger cap, like portobello or oyster mushrooms. I aim for around 3 to 4 mushrooms per person. Next, the carrots. Because this is more of a spoon pasta, I'm gonna wanna cut everything into bite-sized pieces. I want at least a handful per person. Then, the garlic. I like to chop up around 5 cloves, but you can change that to your taste. And we'll just set that aside for later. Our vegetables are cut and the water's still boiling, so let's prepare our sauce. First, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of light or low sodium soy sauce. If you have dark soy sauce or you don't know, you're gonna wanna use less. Next, a tablespoon of oyster sauce. You can probably replace a lot of things in this recipe, but not this, not oyster sauce. You're gonna need that. 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, give that a quick stir, and that's it. Just set it aside for later. Once the water is boiling, we're gonna add our carrots and our mushrooms, then turn it down to a simmer, letting that cook for around 5 minutes. Once our vegetables are done, we can take them out with a strainer and let them rest in a bowl for later. Now I'm gonna turn the heat back up for our pasta. For our pasta, I'm gonna be using rotini. You can use any type of pasta, but you're gonna wanna use one where the sauce can really get all up in there. For rotini, I like to use around 1.5 cups per person, so right here I have 3 cups for 2 servings. Once boiling, I'm gonna add our pasta, letting it cook for around 5 to 6 minutes. While I'm waiting for our pasta to cook, let's prep our chicken. I like using boneless, skinless chicken thighs because they're easy to work with and the chicken thighs remain tender even after braising. Thinking again in per person servings, I'm using 3 chicken thighs and then cutting them up to around bite-sized pieces again. You can substitute a lot of things for this, including silken tofu, which works great. Once the pasta's done, I'm gonna strain out our liquid, making sure to keep at least 2 cups. We're gonna be using this for our sauce and our thickening agent. At this point, our pasta and vegetables have been cooked, our sauce and chicken prepped, and our pasta water smells amazing. So now I'm gonna take out a pan, heat it up to around medium-high, and once it's hot, add a little bit of oil just to coat. Then I'm gonna add our mushrooms, letting them cook up for around 6 minutes. Halfway through, you're gonna wanna add your chopped garlic, stirring occasionally. Nice. 6 minutes later, I'm gonna turn down the heat to low and add in around 1.5 tablespoons of black vinegar. Turning down the heat will help reduce vinegar splatter, because once it hits the heat, it's gonna wanna go everywhere. If you don't have black vinegar, malt vinegar or balsamic would work. Just please don't use white vinegar. It's way too sour and it's just not as flavorful. Next, I'm gonna be adding 1 cup of our leftover pasta water into our pan. Once that's in, let's bring it back up to a simmer. Once simmering, sauce goes in, then our carrots, and finally our chicken. Let that cook for around 5 to 6 minutes, stirring occasionally so everything gets spread out, mixed in, and evenly heated. While everything's braising over there, I'm gonna make a cornstarch mixture to thicken our sauce. I like to use around 3 teaspoons of cornstarch to half a cup of pasta water, and I like to mix that around in a separate bowl because it's easier to manage and helps prevent clumps. Once our chicken has cooked and our carrots have softened, you're gonna wanna turn the heat down to low. Add some white pepper, and now's the time to have a taste so you can really adjust the flavors to your liking. Finally, I'm gonna thicken our sauce. Add the cornstarch mixture a little bit at a time, stirring throughout. Now that our sauce is looking thick enough, let's take it off the heat and let it rest for a while before mixing it into our pasta. Nice.